I guess the people gotta kind of calm down now. Excuse me. I don't really want to let them calm down. I feel like the tension needs to remain in some of them spaces. I don't really care to get into why and how, not right now. But some people need to calm down. Like, I'm gonna be turned. I'm gonna stay turned. We've been building this for years. We've been doing this part. So I'm not really too in the worry about how this is received by the people, because it has to remain regardless. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna stop. Like, we've been said that. We've been saying that for a while now too. So, let's not get all cried up because the energy that we've been calling upon is finally stepped forth for real. Stepped first for real. Like, it's too much of this verses, too much of that. It's taken away from the product. My opinion. I think this competitive edge that they want to show is not really beneficial to the betterment. My opinion. I could be completely off kilter with that. I mean, it's a show about wrestling, right? Now, I'll be trying to stay away from a lot of the current events and the topics. It's not worth bringing back up. It'd be nice if I could call them back, though, because I can, but the first one, I'm gonna throw that reprieve on because everyone is literally still acclimating to how coexistence is gonna happen. Clearly. All right, 30 minutes on this thing for it. Go ahead and jump to another one. So let's run through SmackDown. May 9th, Goku Day. Long show, not gonna front. 3 parts was kind of crazy. You deal with it. Yeah, I mean, but it was enough of a show. You're waiting for the main event segment at that point. That's how I found myself at like part 2.25. Now, LA Knight, Dame, Jacob and Solo. They're all doing good right now. Who's this? The Cobb character? Now he's here. All right, then fine. That's what they doing with that on TV. Then, I mean, big dude. I was thinking it was Tongaloa or something, man, first, but it's not. Hopefully they all get better soon. Same thing with Bronson, because I feel like the Bloodline faction thing, it still has traction to it. Now, what are we gonna do down the line? I don't know. Jay got the title, a little bit of drama around that. All right, cool. He's looking like a champion. And call humanization, I'm not going to go that far yet, but I will definitely say he's looking like his version of a champion, and that's good. Like, he went for the title. We knew he came in just modern day Fiend. I hate to call it like that, but shouts to Bray, respectfully. So he's on modern day with it, and I like all of it because it was exactly what they were going for. It's exactly what Bray was going for, rest in peace. And now that he has a title with him, and it's like a strong title, the title looks strong, he's a strong character. Good spot. That's really what I got for it. The other 3, all of them on a good, it's on the path. Solid. Solo's doing great, Dame doing great. LA Knight is already, like, I think they let him come out first recently. I think, and it might have been on SmackDown, so you see how that went. The people are there for him. He had the little noise meter being the loudest. I'm not mad at it, man. I'm not mad at it. When 115 is on max, we gonna need some more than that. Let's see what we got. If they could even find one of them type of machines that, count the decibel thing, whatever. Good stuff. Something else. Yeah, good stuff. All right, now. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Secret Hervis, shouts to Isla. Alba, yeah. Look, I still feel away from it from last time. Good. And then he took on Zelina as champ, and then a surprise guest appearance from Alexa Bliss. Good on Lexi. She looks good in the ring still. I mean, good as she's going to be able to get. I hear the stories. I hear the want for more professional wrestling. And it's like, yo, We need stories. We don't need the immediates on the professional wrestling part, but talk to them. Are they more into the storyline, or are they more into the actual in-ring combat? I think that's something to question so far as creative to the superstars, because we got to think of something. Like, all right, what do you want to do? Even if it can't be met preferentially in the moment, we can find something for everybody, I believe, when it comes to that backstage writer's room element. Unreal coming soon. Heard it was scripted. I'm going to still look into it, but we're going to see what we get out of it. Yeah, so Blissy and Vega won that. Good. What else? Lost of Mania. Charlotte walked off. All right. Jade with the cowgirl hat, hilarious. Great hair, great moment. Love Jade. Love Jade. Shouts to her man. That was one of the best parts in the crowd, part of the segment for me. Her man in the crowd, she having a match. She went out there, gave him some love. Now she got more energy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Charizard, getting to that next level. Learning how to embrace that heel. I can think of one character right now that she's aligned with in that regard, so I think that superstar should pay attention to whatever else Charizard's about to be doing as a heel, because she's dealt with this, but I think she can navigate it a little bit easier, like I've seen it navigated for a longer period of time by Charlotte at different moments and instances, so I'm definitely anticipating what happens after all of this stuff with the crowd. Like, once they understand that she don't care, now what? Then I think she might be able to get on the road to the championship again. Oh, back of the line. Oh, it's so rude. Jade she got the look. I think she's improving. And her and Nia Jax, look, that proof positive. It wasn't the craziest match, but it was okay for what it was, and they kept up with each other enough. Jade's power was able to hold on to Nia, and Nia being just as improved as she's been with this new format of matches. I haven't talked about that in a couple of months, but with the new format of matches now, good stuff, solid momentum. We love Lena, for real. So, I'm trying to think. That Annihilator. I don't like the landing on the feet part first. I know, but we all know what I'm talking about. It can be easily edited, but the problem for me is just the fact that it's taken away from the devastating impact of it all. Like, I don't want to see her do that move and then it not fit the right way. That's my opinion. So there goes that. Now, moving on. Fraxium, because it's main roster now, so it's gonna start making sense. But so Fraxium and the Street Profits, what was it? Non-title, dope match. It's speaking to the tag division and what it's gonna be turned into. These guys have raised the bar. Clearly, that ladder match between DIY and Street Profits, one of those I missed. I'm a little mad I missed it. If I don't even recall, maybe before a show or something like that. But either way, I know it was good. I'm glad that these teams have arrived, and the crowd seems to know that the tag division is actually heating up now. So good. New Day's over on Raw with it. These guys on SmackDown making it happen. Good stuff. Fraxium is going to be a crazy add to SmackDown regardless. These matches are going to have stories now, in my opinion. Now, Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes. All right, good match. AB is solid, man. He been solid. Melo is going to be Melo. Whatever's going on with him and Miz right now, I think it can continue building. So let's go with that. Andrade, Rey Fenix, Los Garza. AAA is a promotion. They just got him. It's going to be interesting to see everybody get merged in, or take some trips out there for a cameo appearance or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, now, moving on. John Cena, Randy Orton, last real champion. RKO out of nowhere. Backlash. Backlash happened, didn't it? Backlash was alright. It wasn't, it was enough. It was enough of a show. I'm not going to jump all the way through that, but I look at, wait, that's better. Backlash. Yeah, let's see if, Randy didn't get the win. That was somewhat to be expected. Dom beat Penta, Pat Gunther, all that stuff, Jacob won the Fatal 4-Way. Yeah, regular stuff. Regular stuff. Good stuff. Saturday night's main event coming up soon. Let's not take away from Raw on Netflix. Shouts to Netflix. 3 hours. Or at least, 2.5, maybe 2. Not bad, man, on the Netflix scheduling. I'm not really upset with how you never know what you're going to get out of the show. So now it's just dealing with the actual content and then fitting all the superstars on, making the ladies seem like they're getting adequate time on television. Oh my God. It's a lot. It's a lot. I can admit that. So, and shouts to the girls for being in the main event at the start of the week. So good. Now, Jay, CM Punk, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. All right, good Lord. Penta, Chad Gable in the first match. I mean, look, they got a lot of this here chatter about beating luchadors and how to beat them and the rest of this. I'm not even going to follow this story no more because El Grande Americano can beat all of them clearly. I'm laughing at that as I say it out loud. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and what is it, Braun Breaker? The future. That's the future. That's what they got calling themselves. It's like they was calling themselves Evolution back in the day. I'd call these guys the future and just leave it at that. Keep them together, keep them a thing. We got a real shot at a 2-man power trip here. And then they still stay together after the fact. I don't know. They don't need to be tag partners. They could go in that little. I don't know. But Seth has never looked more prime for a championship. Right now, in my opinion, he looks great. Braun has already done it. And Paulie on deck is literally Paulie on deck. So then we got drama to get through when it comes to him and Roman and Punk and all the rest of that. So we'll get there. Penta Gable, good stuff. Chad Gable is great. El Grande Americano and Chad Gable. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they need to be in a match together. So I'm going to just enjoy the TV while I got it the way I get it. Creed Brothers, War Raiders. Yeah, it was one of those moves on the outside, and then my man Julius hit the kip up on the outside. Yo, tag division. Raw's tag division, the tag teams on both sides look great. We need to get, I feel like more. It might need to be more, or we need to make those championships important. But the way everybody wants to go about making the tag titles important is not the way to do it, and this is why it keeps falling out on his face like that. Let's move on. And a New Day on commentary, always nice. These guys, man, they're different level on heel mode. I haven't heard them as heels in, about 10 years? So, I actually hate Woods. And Kofi, too. Shouts to Pops. But I'm supposed to because that's like, the heel element. They're doing great. I don't want to sound biased, but they are doing great, man. I can really appreciate them. I apologize, but you see people just trying the hardest to do the very most, and it's not cute. I'm not going to go in further because this is part of what I mean with the tag team division, except y'all can't see what I just had to look at. Well, we know what it is, and I'm not going to call it out. God bless where I'm at, and I'm grateful to be here. AJ Styles, Finn Balor. Ain't seen the match since what they called 2017. Shouts to Bray again. I thought that they would at least have another match or two between the time. It was a surprise match. It was a match that everybody wasn't expecting, but we was all happy that happened. And then they went in there and they did it again. Some dummy calling the match boring. Well, I feel like these guys are just following gimmicks at this point. I'm not. I see what I like and I know what I like. So I'm calling it. It was a great match, and I'm glad that they got to do that again. It's a very rare occasion that Finn and AJ get to go in the ring. And none of us ever forgot. Well, I know I did it. But it wasn't forgotten about. And it was actually preserved for another match on Raw on Netflix. Who would have thought? None of us was thinking we'd be watching that match again, let alone on Netflix. You see what I'm saying? So good stuff, yo. Good stuff. All the rest, not mad at nothing. Let's move on. Becky Lynch left the WWE Universe speechless. Becky is doing some of her best work right now. my opinion. I believe Becky has found her character, and sky's the limit for her. More power to her. I believe the way she's leaned into finding just the small things in that character, it speaks. It speaks. And then beyond how it speaks, I'm looking at her in-ring capability is there when it wants to be. And then if we're responsibly moving with creative, then we can get some real progress so far as inspired characterisms moving forward. Now, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Roxy, Julia. Main event, good stuff. Good little cute match. Io and Rhea won. Call that what it is. Everybody's fine. Let's get on into NXT. Raw was fun. SmackDown was alright. NXT, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Sean and what he's doing, down there at the Performance Center, and you don't get a bad grade from me. Right now, Shiz know I gotta be the way I am, and I'm not going crazy over my man Shiz right now. Shiz knows how to have fun. I'll say that. HBK, Shawn Michaels knows how to have a good time. Like, I can tell that. And it's always enjoyable to watch the product, But then to see the directions that he's taking it in, and it's like, oh, man. But I think that's just me in Kumbaya mode, Like, realistically, so we don't need to necessarily be like that. But then it's like, I think it's just a thing with me and knowing how fights be happening. Sometimes unnecessary and avoidable fights be happening. So it just really irks my nerve to know that that's something that's taking place now. But I might need to pause in a moment. We'll see what happens. Not right this second. But all right, Obafemi, Charlie Dempsey, non-title. I mean, we got Julia and Roxy going to the main roster. We got other people going up to the main roster, seemingly call-ups. So, we have to have these other faces begin to mean something. It's the transitional time at NXT. It's always an inevitability, but we never know when or how, and especially who is going to get that call for the next opportunity. And this is why I say I can trust HBK knowing how to have a good time. But mainly, we know that HBK is right on board with the best decision-making process for who's next. Like LFG, all the rest. Shouts to Ave and Taker and Bubba and all them there, but King Booker and all that, whole team. I too used to have a lot of fun, believe it or not. With the transitional period happening and then NXT being on the CW, we have to make sure that our superstars are moving at peak levels all the time. Needs to be happening, and it can't come off corny. I'm getting a lot more energy from them though. And I'm not getting it for myself. I'm paying attention to how it's emanating on screen. I'm proud of everybody that was on screen this week. Everybody's doing a great job down there. So let's keep it going. I'm a little sad still because of the losses that we had to experience from the NXT roster. I'm not going to go into any names right now because I could go on and on with this. But now, Charlie Dempsey, Obafemi, good. Trying to jump in with these title shots with whoever earned it and how it was supposed to be done. Yeah, nah, not okay. NQCC, great team. Ren's did great. Look, Tavion been like a mainstay on the roster for a little minute now. It's taking some time, but I'm very glad that things have settled so far as who's where. Now I think we're gonna need this pause. Let's see. Let's move on. Just people watching and profiling, Lords. Part of me. This is what happens. I get outside and get into these environments. I get to take a look at how what this part of the city has to offer. I could get away from my celebrity girlfriend for a little while, and not be asked where I'm at, what I'm doing, and where I'm going next. So there's that. Now, trying to have somebody jump in for you. Now he wants to be in the match and teaching and who's in the fight next and all that. This is that drama I'm talking about. Fun for wrestling, just bad for everything else. This is a good time if we're trying to start a fight. And that's what I mean. Shawn Michaels knows how to he knows how to have a good time. So, moving on. Wesley Tony D. No stacks except at the end. He at the Rizzo compound or whatever you want to call it. Oh, God. Luca's on the timeout. Oh, man. Just the whole D'Angelo family is looking like they in some kind of shamble. And then he still has his driver. Fine. What are we doing next with these guys? That's really what needs to happen. We need to move on. I'm liking where we at with things, but we need to move on. They fought outside of the house. All right, cool. Rizzo not going to be able to do much. What we doing? Oh, and my man is calling him the High Rise. I don't agree. I don't like the name. I think it's too much neck. Personally, like, you do this name of the faction thing, and then it's like, damn. I think they would have served themselves better with a better name, but it's out of my hands so far as creative. We'll see if these guys can actually make something happen. But rising to the top, look, NXT, Ava just letting shit fly down there when it come to that. Let's move on. Stephanie Vakir, Jordan Grace, heated words, war words. Oh God, look, good in ring. Steph is loved by everybody. Jordan Grace is definitely popping and solidified herself a little bit more with that victory at the end of the night in the main event. I love it. Fatal Influence, where's Jasmine? What's going on here? Maybe, is she okay? All right, as long as she's all right. I'm just talking a bunch of nonsense. Now, speaking of everything, Ava's just letting fly out here. Miles Bourne, Ethan Page, what the nigga? Ethan is out of... No one's even thinking about that guy. So I guess this is why HBK puts him on screen, right? Oh, okay, cool. So, Abe came out, set the match up. All right, bet. If anything, I think Ava was the focal point of that segment. That's just me. Miles having a disability and leaning into it. Look, it's already old news to the NXT crowd. I believe that it's beginning to condition him to handle stuff like that on the main roster. Good. I don't even see his disability as a disability. I've met a lot of people with disabilities over time. Some cats can't hear. One of the guys is completely blind. Everybody has a different situation in their life going for them. So when we look to Miles Bourne and his situation, I'm not passing judgment. Some people in the crowd being a little immature still with the random, just rattlings, just enjoy the match, shut the fuck up, But no, because just maybe, HBK is telling them to make more noise during the segment while they're in the ring. I mean, it doesn't matter. They wanted to get there, right? My opinion, we don't need half of that heckling happening. Oh, thank you, Randy. What the fuck does Randy have to do with Miles Bourne? Nothing. They have the same body type. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. And that's why the NXT crowd, as fun as they are, you don't need to have fun the entire time. And that's what they've been trying to do. The takeover, it will not be done by the crowd. It won't. So, moving on. Miles Bourne picked up the win over Ethan. Fine. makes sense. But, moving forward, is he going to be capable of being a champion? Is he going to be the one to be Oba? No. I think that Miles is going to be a heavyweight champion contender. I think that can happen. And then if we want to raise awareness so far as whatever's going down there on NXT or whatever, I've seen them doing their media runs and stuff like that and spins and shit. So I think it could be something that works out. But let's get there when we get there. No rush. Shouts to Ethan and shouts to Abe. Shouts to my man Miles. Up for kicking ass. NQCC still on. They in the crowd. Oh, give Ren a chance. Ren has nothing to do with the segment. She's standing there because she's with her team. Stop doing that. Small things like that. But I'm not going to dictate how the stuff should play itself out. Thea Hale, Tatum. However that match started out backstage, okay. Tatum's mad. I get it. You don't know how to approach a situation. So then you throw a bunch of dolls at the wall and drop the dollhouse and the rest of it. Tatum is back dolo again. Shotzi, whoever, I think Shotzi's out. I don't know. Tatum, Gigi, and shouts to Gigi. But, damn. So now what? At least Tatum can go. And she's probably the best, if not top 3 on the roster so far as the girlies go. So, good. Now, whoa, hold up. Oh! And then Tate Lee went and tried to gouge Thea's eyes out because she was so mad. So, NXT Women's Champion Stephanie McMahon, Jordan Grace beat Fallon Henley and Jacy Jayne. Yo, first of all, Fallon and Jacy, let it be clear, they've been there. They got the seniority. I remember the times, yo. So, shouts to them. And I'm glad that they were on. I hope Jasmine is all right because they look great together. But I think Jazz is part of that adhesive for them because we already know them both in their own separate entity. They're Jasmine's big sister, my opinion. So I think we can continue with that idea. Tag match was fine. Fallon looked great. Shouts to the rock star. Yo, Jacy Jayne been Jacy Jayne. I've never forgotten. For the record. So, it's just you waiting for storylines to take place. You got everyone else needs to be built up. So you got to care about it, Jacy is the last one standing out of Toxic Attraction now, if I'm paying attention to it. Or last woman standing. She's got that survivability. She's got that resilience, if you will. And I'm glad that she's there. For real. And I'm glad that that was highlighted. Her and Fallon, both of them, backstage with the Briggs stuff and the Spears and all that. Briggs and Spears, solid stuff. I think it's going to be a really good match. Sad about Inamura, definitely. I'm glad that he was here, and it's sad to see him go. The whole thing with Jensen and all of that. Yo, look, Briggs might want to join the Cullen. I think that might work for him. I don't know. That's just me. We almost 30 minutes into this. Is that the rest of NXT? I think it is. So, before I rattle anything else and go getting some shit all frizzled up, I'm going to just be chill. I'm going to be in the cut. And see me how you need to.